Hi there, my name is Robbie Hurst. I'm a certified flight instructor working with Monarch Air. We fly in and out of North Texas Regional Airport in Denison, Texas. And today I just want to do a short video on VFR sectional charts, specifically as it pertains to airport information. There's a whole lot of information that you can get from these charts, but really today, all I want to focus on is the airport information and what you need through there. So let's jump right in. If you can tell by looking at the sectional I have pulled up in ForeFlight, I'm not anywhere near North Texas Regional Airport. We're actually up in Central Oregon, around the Bend Sisters area. I'm here for a few days, and so wanted to use the local area that I'm in. Try to use a different space than I'm normally in. So I'm going to draw your attention to Sisters Eagle over here to get us started. And the first thing that I want to point out is that our airport emblem is a magenta color. That's going to let us know that it's an untowered airport. There's no ATC there clearing you to land or take off. It's on you to see and avoid coming in and out of traffic pattern. So it's a non-towered airport. You'll see in the middle here, it's got a line. That's going to be the general direction that the runway is facing. Helps with situational awareness whenever you're flying in to know what direction you need to fly in order to enter that downwind leg. Our spokes around our emblem here are going to let us know that it has services. Most of the time that means fuel. Sometimes that also means they may have oxygen for refueling, your oxygen tanks and things like that for high altitude flight. But it's always a really good idea to call the FBO to make sure that those services are working and they have them. So just because the spokes are there doesn't mean that they actively have gas on site. They may have ran out because of a big fly-in. So always give them a call and make sure that they actually have what you're looking for. Coming over and taking a look at the nameplate, you're going to see that the first thing that you're going to see is the name of the airport. So we've got Sisters Eagle Air, and then you're going to see the identifier. And so we've got 6 Kilo 5 for Sisters Eagle Air. The next thing you're going to see is the elevation of the airport. One thing that I want to mention about the elevation is there are lots of things on the VFR sectional chart that are listed in hundreds of feet. And you'll find that on your private written that it'll ask what's the altitude of an airport, and it's relatively close to the coast, so it's going to say 18. And you're like, oh my gosh, is this 18 feet or is this 1,800 feet? Because, I mean, either could be reasonable. But know that anytime that you see this in the nameplate of the airport, the elevation is listed as a true figure. Unlike, however, the next number, which is the runway length. This is going to be the longest runway on the airport in hundreds of feet. So it'll only have the longest runway. It's not going to have different numbers for if they have multiple runways. It's for the longest one, and it's in hundreds of feet. So we know that the Sisters Eagle Air is the longest runway is going to be 3,500 feet. The next number that we have here is going to be our CTAF frequency, or Common Traffic Advisory frequency. And we know that because of this C here right next to the airport. It's really not a part of the nameplate, but I'm going to mention it anyway because it's there. We have a little emblem here that looks like maybe a package parachuting down. And it's a great moment to talk about. If you see something you don't recognize, go to the legend and check it out. You never know what you might be missing out on. In this case, it's showing that there's a lot of parachute activity in the area. So you certainly want to check the chart supplement and any NOTAMs out that may list the times that area is active, because you certainly don't want a parachute as a hood or. So moving on to a little bit of a larger airport, we're going to come over this way, and we're going to go to Roberts Field in Redmond, Oregon. And the first thing off the bat that you're going to notice is that it's blue instead of red. So you see this blue color here. That's going to let you know that it's a towered airport, and that, or at least part of the time, the tower may not be a 24-hour tower. And we'll talk about how you can tell that here in a minute. But the blue lets you know that it's going to be a towered airport, at least part of the time. We've got the same spokes letting you know that there's going to be services there. Maybe that's fuel, maybe that's oxygen. And we've also got a star over our beacon, or over our emblem this time. That's going to let us know that there's a lighted beacon there. So if you're flying in at night, you're going to see that regular white and green beacon out there that you can see on the horizon to identify this airport. Coming over to our nameplate again, just like we had in Sisters, we got our name and our identifier. Now we've got a CT. That CT is going to mean that this frequency next to the CT is the control tower frequency. And the star next to that is going to let us know that it's part-time. It may not be active all the time. So you're going to need to check the chart supplement to see when it is or is not active. And then if it's not active, it's going to go to a non-towered airport where you'll self-announce on this frequency as a CTAF frequency. That's why we've got the C here as well. So this frequency automatically becomes the CTAF if the tower's not in operation. And then below that, we've also got an ATIS here. So Redmond, it has weather reporting. So we've got an ATIS frequency to be able to listen to. Generally speaking, you want to get that if you're about 15 miles out or so that you've got the identifier from that to be able to give to the control tower that you've got the current information before you enter their airspace. And once again, we've got our elevation at 3,082 feet. And then we've got this L with an asterisk here. That L with an asterisk is letting us know that, well, the L is letting us know that there's lighting for the runway. And the L with an asterisk lets us know that it's not always operational. In most cases, that means it's pilot controlled and you're going to click your comm button 5 times to turn it on. But there are a few select airports that have a different procedure. There are some that you need to call ahead of time to schedule them being on and such. So again, check the chart supplement to make sure you have all the information available there. This next number is going to be, again, our longest runway in hundreds of feet. So we've got a 7,000-foot runway here. There are 2 runways at this airport. You can see that on the emblem here. And the longest one is going to be 7,000 feet. And in order to know which one is which, again, you would go to the chart supplement, see what runway numbers they have, and be able to make an informed decision on what runway you want to land on. This last number here is going to be the Unicom frequency. You can get a hold of the FBO on this frequency to be able to ask for fuel and any other services that you might need. And a quick note that I want to mention, this is more of an airspace conversation, but I want to mention it as well. So we've got the blue dashed line going around Redmond Airport. That's signifying this is a Class Delta airspace, Class D airspace. And we'll do a whole nother video on all of our airspaces, but I do want to point out this 56 here. So this 56 means that the Class Delta goes up to 5,600 feet MSL. So if you're within the blue dashed line or below 5,600 feet, you're going to be in the Class Delta associated with the Redmond Airport. So I hope that helps with some of the airport information that you can find on charts. Here in a little bit, we'll do another video specifically on airspaces, but I hope that this has been helpful for your studies as far as airport information on charts go. I'm Robbie Hurst. Please like and subscribe and would love to be a part of your flight journey.